You're killing me, Outlander. You're killing me. Hi everyone, I'm Sandrine and welcome to brand new Outlander reviews. It's back. The premiere episode is called Through a Glass Darkly. Let's talk about it. First, one quick thought is that they changed the title song a little bit. It's a more subtle beginning of the song and then missing part of it in French because they're now in France, which is so cool. I love it. And now let's talk about the thing that just kind of blew my mind because I had seen it in the trailer, but I did not expect it to start like this with Claire in the present in 1948. What's happening? I don't understand. This is just like, it's insane. She's back in the present. We don't know how. We don't know what happened. I mean, obviously she went through the stones again, but why? What happened? And obviously it looks like they didn't change the future. So what? So many questions. And it's just like... And then if you watch my reviews for season 1, then you know that I have a soft spot for Frank, you know? I just felt so bad for him because he loved her so much and she left and it's been 2 years and he still loves her. And then when he tells her, stop, you need to understand this from my perspective. And I was like, oh my God, I can't even. It's just like, when he's just telling her that people were telling me that you left me, but I knew that it wasn't true. And I think that's like the worst. If you think about it, if you think about someone disappearing on you and you know that something must have happened to them and you don't know what, I mean, talk about heartbreaking. And I just love that they did that. And it's just, it continues to humanize Frank. Now that doesn't mean that Claire should be with Frank, especially after 2 years. You can also see that her feelings for him have shifted, which is normal. It would be weird if she was still like, I still love you, Frank. I mean, she spent 2 years with Jamie and she obviously loves Jamie, like they're just meant to be. But it was just such a powerful moment. And I think there's that extra layer because not only has she spent 2 years with Jamie and for her, that's the love of her life, but now Frank also reminds her of Blackjack, which is just like layers upon layers upon layers, and I'm just like, this is so brilliant. And then you get the kind of bomb drops where she's like, yeah, I'm pregnant. And in that moment, I think obviously Frank kind of freaks out a little bit, which all it does for us is like, oh, Blackjack. I knew there was some Blackjack in him, right? But I feel like, I think it's just such an emotional moment in time. And it's like, I think listening to her story is probably like very surreal. There's no physical proof or anything tangible that he can look at and think, okay, she's been with another man. When she's like, I'm pregnant and it's Jamie's, then I think that was just that one thing where he's like, oh, it's real now. That there's a physical being that's gonna remind me that you were with somebody else. Not saying that he should have, gotten pissed and all that, but it's emotional. I do like the fact that he does end up wanting to raise the kid and he's like, fine, I'll raise him as my own, but here are the conditions, which I think is fair. I mean, for Frank, it's fair because, you can't ask him to be like, yeah, I'll be with you and all that, but you can also look for this guy that, you're obviously very in love with. And for Claire, she really, really believes she's never gonna go back. Then I think Frank is a good man for her to be with. I mean, it's not like she didn't love him. She did love him at the time. It's just, she's changed. So interesting. Of course, we know she's gonna go back at some point, right? Right? Speaking of going back, the transition from her reaching out her hand to Frank, and then we switch to Jamie and in the 1746, and it's like, oh my God! I can't even right now. I just can't even. So now we're where we left off at the end of season 1. They've arrived in France and they're ready to change the future. They want to stop the Jacobites' rebellion from happening. We did meet a couple new characters. We met Jared, Jamie's brother, who will be there into the Jacobites. And we met le Comte Saint Germain, who's probably like the new Blackjack. He didn't seem very happy with Claire and losing his boat and cargo, just saying. Needless to say, love the beginning of this season. Honestly, I wasn't really sure what to expect after the first season because I felt like there was a lot of things you could do with the first season because they're meeting, they're doing this and that. But then I was like, okay, well, they're just going to France. How exciting can it be? Oh my God, Sandrine, you were wrong. You were wrong. But those are all my thoughts. Of course, I'd love to hear your thoughts and how you enjoyed this first episode. Are you freaking out? Are you loving that Outlander is back in general? Let me know in the comments. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of my Outlander reviews. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye. And just as a side note, when they were talking about changing the future and stopping the rebellion, I just kept thinking about a show that I recently finished watching called 11/22/63 or November 22nd, 1963. It's a show on Hulu. It's a miniseries based on a Stephen King's book. If you haven't seen it, check it out, where he goes back in the past to stop JFK's assassination. And it's a similar thing of like, should you or shouldn't you change the future? Like, what will happen if you do? So I kind of had a flashback of that. So now I'm like, should they stop the rebellion? Maybe it's not a good idea, you know? Maybe they shouldn't do that. Maybe she should just keep Jamie away from it and keep him alive.